And welcome back to Jeff Koinage Live. It is time for the bench with the two senators. Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen, who's going for a second term despite the opposition. And there's plenty of it. And of course, the man they call the bullfighter of Ikolomani does not want to be senator anymore, wants to be governor of Kakamega. Can he make it? Will he make it? Before we go to the two gentlemen, by the way, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome both of you.
Thank you.
Let's read some tweets real quick. Let's read some tweets because they're coming in thick and fast. Again, the hashtag JKLive. T. Kirotich says, think of SGR, power connection, service accessibility like the Huduma centers, odds, insecurity, civil servant, unrest. Let's go on. Victor, thinker with 2 R's, you say, I can bet that our MPs will fight any move to drastically cut their pay perks. I kind of agree with you there, Victor. Okay, another tweet from Agosh Kenboy. You say, how is the economy growing and prices of basic commodities are on the rise? Kevin Bogwa 88, you say, we love the wage cut proposal and how ironically our leaders agree to it just before elections. Implement it now. Good point there, Kevin. Ray Kipto, you say, at least the opposition behaved soberly and mature today. Kudos for that. All right. Keep the tweets coming at K. Boni Mtetezi. That's the right one. At K. Boni Mtetezi. At Kipchumba Murkomen. At Koinage Jeff. At Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag JK Live. Gentlemen, let's get right into it. Dr. let me ask you first, your quick thoughts on the State of the Nation addressed by the President.
It was all about good English. In fact, what Jubilee should know is that Kenyans were expecting a State of the Nation address. But then what they were treated for was a State of the Nation PR address.
Senator.
I think, first of all, I want to thank the President for keeping with the Constitution itself, but specifically for enumerating achievements with facts and figures. Every time we have debated with our colleagues, because they cannot really face, like Khalwale is saying, they go for lofty words, sound bites, without really challenging the figures. We are saying we have connected 3.7 million homes with electricity. Can anyone challenge that? We are saying we have connected electricity with all major towns in the country, including Kakamega. Can you challenge that fact? We are talking about the railway. Well, you will be able to use the railway on June 1st, and members of parliament were invited for that right. Remember that the railway was built by colonial government. We are talking about 92 referral hospitals increased in the country. Is a doctor. Can anyone challenge that fact? So really today it was about, you know, the road to Moyale, which used to take 3 days. It now takes 7 hours. The number of buses that are going the route from the other day I drove with my family from Arusha to Voi, and the road is fantastic, and you know was built within the last 4 years. So anyone who wants to challenge us must first come from the position of you have done 1, 2, 3, 4, but we expected you to do 1, 2, 3, 4. That's actually what is going to make the debate a honest debate.
Okay, are you disappointed the President did not touch on hunger, for instance? There's a famine looming. He didn't touch on that. 100-day doctor strike.
Well, I think the reason why the President never dwelt on the strike is because they found an agreement.
Not hungry.
They reached an agreement yesterday, and I think in terms of really long term, the President went for the elephant in the room, which is the wage bill, and particularly the role of us constitutional office holders, including me and my colleague here, and what's our contribution to that. And I think the President made a very bold step by suggesting that we must have a pay cut. And I personally supported when the President suggested that before the SRC now took the constitutional means. And my suggestion would be to take it further, and I agree with the person who was tweeting. we must quickly hold a national wage bill conference, agree on the report of the SRC, and provide for the implementation date and pass with this parliament. In any case, I was telling my colleagues today, 80% of parliamentarians will go home. Why would you want to oppose a pay cut, which is going to create equity in terms of earning, so that we can be able to pay our policemen?
Dr. Ari, why is this
reasonable
wage bill cut, coming at the end of this first term? Why now? Is it electioneering, if you will?
You know, I told you about PR, and I knew what I was talking about. Let me give you the story of a little boy who, at the end of the term, is expected to bring home a report card showing how he has done for the rest of the days he's been in school. Then he tells the mother, Mommy, next time I have decided I'm going to do very well. If President Uhuru wanted to speak on the scorecard based on the salary of members of parliament and other constitutional office holders, he should not make it futuristic. You have such a son, then honestly, you are not bringing up a son. You are growing a con man. No, but the salary that the president was talking about will come in the next parliament. Yeah. He should have told us how he has managed the wage bill in the last 5 years. That was an admission that he failed, and he wants to con people so that they can give another opportunity again when the same members of parliament want to pass bills that the president has a lot of interest in. He'll again allow them to increase their salary.
I think first of all, I take offense with the use of uncivilized language when you say that the president wants to con people and so forth. Secondly, I don't like when members of parliament like Khalwale feign ignorance, because I don't believe that he's so ignorant that it doesn't know that the role of Salaries and Remuneration Commission as an independent commission is to actually work on the salaries of all public holders. And I want to come to that point.
When's the last time MPs gave themselves a pay cut?
When MPs attempted to give themselves a pay cut, you remember they even wanted to remove Salaries and Commission. They failed because they had the support of the SRC, had the support of the president. The last time MCAs wanted to increase salaries, in fact, the Senate intervened. I was the chair of the devolution committee. They failed because SRC stood their ground. Now, Khalwale wants to assume that the president has that responsibility to determine the increase or failure.
Then what was he doing today?
What the president said.
Why did he wade into it?
No, because you are not in the parliament and you didn't listen. You know, Boni, when you were elected to be in parliament to listen on behalf of people of Kakamega and make factual arguments, the president never talked about him cutting wage bill. He talked about having... No, listen. You're watching clips and you were elected to go and listen. You know, the president talked about he has a report from SRC, and that report from SRC, he urged the parliament that he supports us, the president, but he urged parliament to support that report. And I think, and that's why I was saying, as a leader here, I am providing also my suggestions on the direction. We should, in the next 1 or 2 weeks, hold a national conference on salaries and agree on some few things that I think it can assist in what SRC is talking about.
Realistically, Senator, realistically, will it happen? Will it happen?
I will be the senator of Elgeyo Marakwet next term. I am one of the leaders that have said that we want to pass and adopt this report now so that it can be implemented as soon as August 9th.
Why do you need a conference? Why do you need a conference?
No, for me, the reason why I think we need a national conference on that fact is that we need to debunk all the issues. Because it's not just about senators. We have to deal with the MCAs, we have to deal with the commissioners, we have to deal with judges. You know, that includes judges. So that we can have a holistic adoption of that information.
The president has got egg all over his face.
How so?
He was unable to manage the doctor's crisis, 100 days, thousands of lives lost. He was unable to manage, that is salary. He was unable to manage the strike by the lecturers. He has been unable to address the demands by teachers for a salary increment. So as to play PR to them, instead of addressing it, he's come and told them, you know, sometime during the life of the next parliament, I'm also going to make elected leaders to take a pay cut. Who doesn't know that President Uhuru and his deputy told Kenyans they were taking a pay cut and they never took the pay
All right,
cut.
gentlemen, let's switch gears. Let's switch gears. We don't know. We can talk about salaries and pay cuts forever. Let's switch gears. Let's go to NASA and Jubilee. Let me start with you, Dr. A new poll not too long ago put the co-principal, Raila Odinga, 68%. Yes. Closest, Kalonzo Musyoka, 13%.
Yes.
The person you were supporting, or you have been supporting from day one, Moses Wetangula, at 2.2%.
Yes.
You were not happy with that poll, InfoTrack poll. Why?
Let me tell you, the InfoTrack poll should be assessed against the opinion polling law, to which I am the father. I created the public opinion polling law. They should, before announcing the result as they did, have made, in accordance with that law, a disclosure of who paid for that poll. What was the sample population that they polled against? What were the educational standards? What are generally the demographics? So because they did,
Raila is on top.
Let me tell you, because they didn't, we cannot authoritatively speak to it. But, however, I want to accept it as it was. What's wrong with Raila being 68%? What's wrong with Wetangula being 3%? If that is the finding of the people have spoken. In fact, were it to be scientific, then it would go a long way in helping me, as a person who sits on the National Coordinating Committee for identifying the flag bearer, to make a decision.
Speaking of flag bearer, is Raila the flag bearer?
When we have a flag bearer, we are going to announce it in broad daylight.
Senator, what's taking them so long?
I think, you know, these NASA people are taking us in circles. We know that Raila Odinga is going to be the candidate. We know that Kalonzo was being 80 out as a running mate, but he has fought very hard. They don't know how to handle Musalia Mudavadi, who are supposedly more popular, of course, than Wetangula from the Western.
Yeah, we'll get to Wetangula in a moment.
And so forth. And I think the confusion we have in NASA was actually what we cured in Jubilee by making, you know, sacrifices. Politicians on our side making sacrifices. They will support the president and the deputy. There is no confusion as to who holds the, you know, even in 2013, the deputy president just made a decision to join with Uhuru Kenyatta, and they supported him and worked forward. So the results we see in NASA is actually the demonstration of their greed, but also possibly and very clearly that they want to mislead the public that they are doing any nomination process, but they are doing just a PR exercise.
Yes.
When we know, and I have said here as a matter of fact, we are preparing for the competition with Raila Odinga. We know him, we know his game, we know the game he's trying to play, and there's nothing here we're wasting time.
Dr. Ari, isn't it true that NASA without Baba is nothing? Let's face it.
You cannot say that. What you should be doing is you should be listening very keenly to the anxiety in the voice of Kipchumba Murkomen, because they don't know how to handle us. They don't know whether we shall give them Mudavadi, we shall give them Weta, we'll give them Mudam, we will give them Khalwale, we'll give them Orengo, we'll give them Philip Murgor. You know, you'll give them Murgo? I'm saying they don't know.
By the way, Murgo is ahead of Wetangula. You know that in that poll.
Exactly. So now, because of that, they are urging us so that their anxiety can go down. Let me tell you the story of the hunting skills of a cat. The cat will run very fast after a mouse. But when it is now finally confident that the mouse is going nowhere, it's just playing around with that mouse like this. We have already run rings around Jubilee. It's going nowhere, so we are now just playing.
So what you're saying,
but as a matter of fact,
what he's saying is the lineup for 2017 is the same as it was in 2013.
Of course, absolutely. And
Raila flag bearer, Kalonzo
is going to be running mate. And if that doesn't happen, NASA will come to an end. And the most important thing here is the example he was giving about the rat and the cat. This is the story of the three mice, you know, running around, you know, the same place, and wondering who will bail the cat. Really, they don't know exactly who will bail the cat. Is it blind mice or? Yeah, the blind mice. Okay. The blind mice. And by the way, let me tell you,
the three mice are Deputy President and Uhuru. They don't know who will bail our cat.
I have said in this show here that NASA have a choice. It's a conglomeration of losers who lost elections in 2013. If you combine their votes, they were still behind from Uhuru Kenyatta by 800,000 votes. And the fact is that we are saying they have a choice to lose individually or lose separately.
You're confident?
I am absolutely confident. You know, can I show you the source of my confidence?
Go on.
We are politicians. We are elected leaders. If you see a situation where 3 governors, from Coast, you have a senator from Coast running for governorship and he has left his party. You have a host of members of parliament, almost 17. You have MCAs, almost 40, who are in an opposition party. They are coming to join Jubilee. If you have the same replicated in all over Northeastern, all over the parts of Western Province, I mean, really, it is an indication. No politician makes a decision knowing that it's going to be the wrong decision. By virtue, even if it means taking a risk, for them to have made that decision, somebody like Mvurya, who is a very popular governor, for him to make a decision and without being pushed, without having a competition to join Jubilee. Somebody like Hussein Dado, who has no competition, decided to join Jubilee. It's a signature of the influence that Jubilee has on the people of areas that voted for CORD last time.
Okay, speaking of competition, you face a lot of competition in your backyard. Former IG David Kimayo says he's going to take you on. And by the way, Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho has offered you a job. As MCA or something. I don't know.
Is it Mombasa Governor of Bomet? I don't know. No,
one of Bomet.
Is it Bomet? He was saying that he wants a lawyer in his county. I think, first of all, he's insulting all my students that I educated and schooled in Bomet. He has been unable to employ the young people in Bomet. He is offering a job from someone from Elgeyo Marakwet County. If he's desirous of a lawyer, I have more than 20 lawyers I taught in law school that I can offer to go and advise him. But this is the point. The point is that Jeff, and I am not being disrespectful to Mr. Kimayo. Kimayo is the age of my father. My dad is 59, Kimayo is 57. So it's the same generation. His children are my children's age. I grew up together. We come from the same neighborhood, the same ward actually. I have gone around the county. I haven't found where he is or where someone says he supports him. It would be wrong on a national television to discuss a candidate who is not even being discussed in the county itself. It will be a waste of public resources and time.
You know,
he's listening.
This is serious talk. You cannot talk about Kimayo and expect Mtetezi wa Wanyonge not to defend the poor man.
Go on, Mtetezi, go on.
I want to request Senator Murkomen to climb down, come back to planet Earth. You have run once in an election and you have won that election. You've made a very pointed statement here that 70% of the elected leaders are going to lose. Who says you cannot be one of those 70? Climb down. The reason why Kimayo is being felt beyond the borders of Elgeyo Marakwet is because he's addressing the people's agenda, i.e. insecurity. You are missing in action.
It is true. It is true.
Yes. No, he is missing in action to this extent that hundreds of Marakwets have died during this insecurity. Thousands of goats and cows have been stolen. The senator only came out to speak when the MP in Baringo, Kipchumba, who is a lawyer like him, raised his voice. Otherwise, senator is missing in action. He's busy flying in choppers. Senator is busy calling himself number 3 in government, that is in kitchen government. How can you be proud of being in the kitchen government when the same government that you are serving cannot give your people security? It cannot give them food. It cannot give them water.
This is a very good discussion.
You can't.
I am the only senator in Kenya who has been held account on matters of security. In fact, so many people died in Kakamega 2 years ago on some gang in Bungoma, in Northeastern. Nobody asks the senator, why have you not addressed insecurity? But I'm very proud of the government in the matters of security in Marakwet and Baringo. And and the response therein. It's a lie to say, by the way, Jeff, it's a lie to say that I have not been with my people. I have addressed more than 50 meetings, sitting with my people, sitting with them to make decisions on what we need to do. It is through my intervention that today we have, for the first time in the history, despite the fact that we used to have an IG who comes from that area, for the first time in history we have 240 police reservists in Khalwale. No, I need to make clear this point.
Yeah, get your point.
We have about 300 police officers who are serving in that area. We have about, we have now but
we're not seeing the fruits of their personnel
vehicles working in that area. Where we have established 4 police stations. We have more police vehicles.
9 people were killed today.
Let me just. I'll come to that. I'll come to that. We have lost more than 40 people in my 2 counties itself. Thanks to my intervention, we have done a lot in that place, and my people are very proud of what I've done for them. But to be able to simplify the attack of bandits to be a question of just the senator being able to deal with it, when an inspector general of police who served the country for 35 years was unable to deal with insecurity until he was chased from office, to say that he will be able to deal with this insecurity issue when he no longer has instruments of power. It's not inspector general of police, it's actually joking the country because, and I want to say this, Khalwale, just because he has a candidate that is sympathetic to NASA, does not give him the license to contradict himself. Khalwale was on top of tables in the Senate saying Imaya must go and Olelengo must go.
Okay,
and he succeeded. And so, how is he able then to make that argument?
What are you going to do when Kimayo beats you, if Kimayo beats you?
Let me make it abundantly clear. It is not even an option.
Senator.
Yeah. Yes. You know, Senator, you have said you have taken brisk action against insecurity in your place. Could you tell Kenyans, why haven't you opened your mouth on the killing of Pepe, on the killing of the MCA?
I think,
can you relax?
I think Khalwale,
teaching our children how to debate.
I think Khalwale has come here drunk because he's confusing. He's confusing.
I know
he's confusing Baringo County from Elgeyo Marakwet. And actually,
but we are number 3 in government.
The reason why the reason why Khalwale is confusing that is because perhaps he's saying there is no senator in Baringo or there is an absentee senator in Baringo.
Oh, we'll come to that in a moment. Yeah. We'll come to that in a moment.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. Let's jump.
Can I conclude my statement?
Yes, go ahead.
I was asking, why has he refused to break his silence on the killing of Pepe? Why has he not raised his voice about Kamama being in charge of security, a local member of parliament, and members, elected members of that community who are on TV here in in KTN, demanding that he steps down?
Okay.
No, hold on. I think Khalwale
part of the syndicate.
I think Khalwale is suffering from selective amnesia.
How?
And or a failed memory.
Yes.
Because he has evaded the two. I have been on many talk shows saying that it is time for Kamama to voluntarily resign. Remember, there was a time the committee attempted more than once to get him out of chairmanship. They did not succeed. It is in the purview of National Assembly to determine who chairs their committees, but I would say from a moral perspective, being blamed all the time and being told that most of the aggressors come to your constituency, I have said to Kamama in person, and I have said on talk shows, including even last week, that it is important and necessary for Kamama to step down.
Okay, hold on.
Why the issue of amnesia?
Jeff, you know, Khalwale, being the only brand of politics he has played in his life, is shouting on top of voice, shouting all over, making noise. He's never been able to, and I don't know how he's going to make to be a governor, because Khalwale has never sat down to plan and manage and organize anything. For me, I have the privilege of approaching government and tell them then take action on 1, 2, 3, 4. And every time I've done so, the Inspector General of Police, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the President of the Republic of Kenya have responded positively to the cries of my people.
Is that why you think you're number 3?
No, I have never thought. No, that's. We need to clear this thing.
Yes.
We need to clear this thing today once and for all. It can only be an ignorant person who can go public saying that there is something called number 3 in Kenya. And number 3 of what? because we are talking about, we have executive. I am only number 2 of the Senate because I'm the deputy majority leader.
Okay.
And if that is going to be the issue of number 2, I'm number 2 of the Senate. But there is a perception out there that because of my contribution politically,
and your connections,
well, connections or whatever it is, there is the belief out there that because of my participation and contribution to this nation and loyalty to the connection.
So
let me ask you, there could be
it's a very important issue of amnesia. Amnesia.
Yes.
Amnesia. People can think I have that kind of problem. If there's anybody today who has depicted either total or selective amnesia, it's my colleague here. When you say that you cannot speak about insecurity in Baringo and in West Pokot because you come from Elekeo Marakwet, you are pretending that you don't know that these raids, they cut across the border.
That is a lie.
The Marakwet go to Pokot, the Pokot go to
we can talk about this all day.
But we need to correct one thing.
What was your question?
We need to correct one thing.
Why are you so defensive?
I am the only senator who I have done more meetings on insecurity in Baringo than the Senator of Baringo.
Okay.
And I want to make this clear. I have done meetings in West Pokot than the Senator of West Pokot in my county. I just want to know the man who is doing it. Can we conclude that?
Let's go to Western.
So the point, if it means a cross-cutting question of insecurity in Kerio Valley, I have been on top of the game.
You've done your bit. Okay, let's move on. The senator here just said you're running for governor. We all know this. You've declared you're running for governor of Kakamega. Where you were sitting right now a couple of weeks ago, your good friend Barack Muluka said Governor Oparanya will wipe the floor with you. Not in as many words, but basically he says you will lose badly to Oparanya. Your thoughts?
My brother Muluka is entitled to his opinion, just like any other Kenyan. But his opinion does not carry much weight for 2 simple reasons. One, that he was earning his brief. He is on record for being on the payroll in Kakamega for little consultancy jobs from Oparanya. And 2, Barack Muluka is not a voter in Kakamega County. He's a registered voter somewhere here in Takoreti. So his word does not count.
Okay.
And finally, it should not be lost to members of the public that Muluka has not just entered into the arena of politics. Muluka has twice run to be member of parliament in Khwisero. And the last time he ran in 2002, he was defeated in his home polling station, where he got a paltry 20 votes against his opponent, 400 votes. So you take him for what he is. The poor man, what do you...
Fine. So you've declared you're running for governor. What are your chances? Because there's some critics out there who say you're hiding under this senatorial position of yours. In case you don't get the gubernatorial, you'll jump back and run for senator. What are your chances?
That is a demonstration of failure to read, or failure to understand what you read in the Constitution. The Constitution does not provide for a possibility whereby you can hold one position while you are running for the other one. The position of governor of Kakamega is not vacant. Neither is the position of senator of Kakamega. They'll both become vacant on the 8th of June this year. And that is when I'll start my journey of removing the guy from office, and another younger person or age-mate or older will come and occupy my position in the Senate.
Senator, does he have any chances?
Well, I personally think that, you know, every politician has whatever chance it is, smaller or whatever. But I want to address the Khalwale, the governor. If Khalwale becomes governor, what will Kakamega look like? Because, you know, I'm thinking about the Khalwale who intoxicates bulls and runs around on bullfighting. A governor is expected to improve the breed of cows in his place.
Yes.
I'm talking of the Khalwale who is buying busan changa and dancing isukuti in the streets. I'm talking of Khalwale who has lived all his life, you know, attacking people and dealing with protests and street protests and so forth. I have not seen my colleague, whether in the Senate or elsewhere, to assume that managerial position where you have to balance interests between the county assembly, the county executive, and so forth. So it will be an interesting thing to watch. Oparanya, of course, comes from a managerial perspective. We in the Jubilee are going to have a very serious candidate whom I think is going to win after our nominations. But and if Khalwale wins, really it will be a very interesting argument to see a person like Boni Khalwale working on the breeding of...
I like his admission. I like his admission that he doesn't know Khalwale. Of course, when I was running as the MOH, the Greater Kakamega District Medical Services, the poor man was in kindergarten. He could not have known me. When I was serving as an assistant minister in the East African community, the poor man was in high school. So the Khalwale you have seen is the balance of the little you have known by dint of your age. That's why the Swahili say, kuishi kwingi.
But we must take your time. we must quickly point out that Honorable Khalwale is again the age of my dad, and you know there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with me being a young person.
And you're the age of my son.
Yeah, I agree.
Nothing wrong with
I don't, and there's nothing wrong with that.
My son is an advocate of the High Court who appears in court.
No problem.
You have never appeared in court.
No problem.
Can you tell us what case, for example, you have done? My son normally tells me.
No problem. I must have taught your son in the university.
No.
So those are my...
How do you teach your age mate?
No, it can't be my age mate. He's slightly younger because I know him, and it must have been my student. If
No.
He must have been my student.
No.
But the point is that I have manufactured so many lawyers, including the President Murkomen was my master student.
Philip Murkomen?
Yeah, Philip Murkomen. And
you taught him?
I taught Philip Murkomen and Achilo Yako, and they passed my subject very well.
What are his chances?
We don't even need to discuss. Because of friendship of being my former student, I can only tell him good luck. But this is the point I want to make, that age and all these factors are not an issue. And our friend being a former assistant minister, you know what an assistant minister used to be, you know?
Gentlemen, hold on. Okay.
You see, Murkomen, on that, 1 minute. We are not running anywhere. Murkomen, you know, it pays for you to understand that there is no university in the world, not even Harvard, where a topic, a subject called experience is taught. You learn experience by putting your hands on it. And so because you have never put your experience on anything, other than the little works you have done in the echelons of the legal practice, it doesn't mean you have experience.
Okay, gentlemen.
But honestly, you can have experience, but the wrong experience.
I'm going to ask you
an experience of intoxicating bulls for 10 or 15 years doesn't make you a better manager.
You have a problem with bulls, huh?
No, I have no problem with bulls, but I have a problem with someone getting changa and giving to bulls so that they can fight.
Okay.
Where does that happen?
Gentlemen,
where does that happen?
As we're going to break, think about this question from Ahmed Mohammed in Isili, okay? He says, ask the senators, why is it that all senators want to be governors? Is it greed? Hold on. Is it greed? Think about that question as we go to break.
Okay.
As we go to break, and then come back and talk about your connections. Is the DP under Sieke?
We will talk about it.
Is he under Sieke? And why is Weta so quiet?
But
where is Weta?
Sieke is somebody's name. So don't...
Under siege.
No.
He knows. At K. Boni Mtetezi, at Kipchumba Murkomen, at Koinage Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag JK Live. Keep the tweets coming, and they are coming thick and fast. We're talking about the state of the nation. We've gone beyond the president's speech. We're talking the bigger picture. Stay with us. You're watching Jeff Koinage Live on Citizen Television.